Hey guys, Mikey here, and before I started this video, I just wanted to extend my condolences out to the family of Carrie Fisher and Deborah Reynolds. For me, this is 2 days later after the news that I'm recording this video, but for you guys, it's been a few weeks now. I'm sure that you all are aware, and I can only hope that the family has all of the strength. I can't imagine what they're going through, so I can only hope that they have all of the strength and all the support they need to be able to get through this. And yeah, I just wanted to extend my condolences out to that family and tell you guys, if you the ones you love, the ones you hold dear, make sure you let them know how much they mean to you, because you never know. You really never know. And just make sure you let them know. Make sure you give them a hug, send them a text, phone call, whatever, tell them you love them, stuff like that. So definitely guys, just go ahead and do that. Make sure you do that. And that's all I wanted to say. I'll see you in a few seconds. Hey there guys, Mikey here, and welcome to Star Week, Episode 7. Today we're going to talk about The Force Awakens, the 7th installment in the Star Wars series, not including Star Wars Rebels or any of the TV shows or anything like that, but the 7th cinematic installment before Rogue One comes out. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. So, we pretty much all know, I'm assuming if you're watching this video and knowing that there's spoilers in the title, we all know the plot to The Force Awakens. The bad guys show up, start killing people, a member of the Resistance gives important information to a droid so that the bad guys can't get it, and we get introduced to our main villain, who comes in, kills a fool, kidnaps the member, and then the droid will wind up on a desert planet, where we are introduced to our main hero. The bad guys track the droid, and our heroes are forced to escape on the Millennium Falcon. They get to the Resistance base, the bad guys destroy a planet with their big planet-sized weapon. The Resistance finds out about it and formulates a plan to destroy it, and successfully do, but not before losing the old man mentor in the process. What? What? I'm using the wrong slides. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. I'm sorry. So the bad guys show up and they start killing people. A member of the Resistance gives important information to the droid so the bad guys can't get it. We get introduced to our main villain, who comes in, kills a fool, kidnaps the member. The droid winds up on a desert planet where we get introduced to our main hero. The bad guys track the droid, and our heroes are forced to escape on the Millennium Falcon. They get to the Resistance base, the bad guy destroys a planet, and with their big planet-sized weapon, the Resistance find out about it and formulate a plan to destroy it, successfully do so, but not before losing the old man in the process. You guys see what I'm getting at here. Okay, seriously. Serious now. All jokes aside. No more picking at the movies. Just all jokes aside. This movie is good. This movie is a good movie. I would be completely hypocritical and asinine if I were to say that this is a bad movie, because it is not. It is a good movie. It's pretty solid for the most part. It's pretty solid for the most part, minus some issues. There are a few issues like that kind of stick out and everything like that, and that's just kind of plot wise. But also probably one of the better things that I think people enjoyed about this movie is probably its biggest weakness to me. When I saw this movie, I didn't enjoy it as much as everyone else did. There are enjoyable moments, don't get me wrong, but after a certain point, I clocked out. and it was just like, no, I didn't not like fell asleep. I just checked out. It was just because I'll kind of get to that in a little bit, but like I said, I checked out. But, I went to go see this movie with JoJo, and you guys know him from my earlier episodes of Comic Junkies Corner, and he really enjoyed it. JJ, the blogger, he enjoyed it. My friend Anthony enjoyed it, and I would watch reviews, and everyone really, really enjoyed this movie. I was like, yo, this movie is great. You're going to have fun. You're going to have a blast. This is awesome. And I was just like, I mean, it's all right, I guess. I'm not feeling it that much, and I thought I was like the only one, and I was just, I kind of kept it to myself for a while. I was just like, I didn't really want to talk. There was a few, like I said, few issues that kind of bothered me. Everyone seemed like they were running, and I got that from Finn. I understood why he was like, okay, like a running character and everything like that. I semi-understood it with Rey, but after a certain point, it was just like, okay, you need to... No, no, you're not a runner anymore. And like, everyone was kind of like running from something, and it was just like, okay, so okay if one character has that kind of arc and everything, but not everyone. Even Han Solo is just like, there was like, you need to stop running from whatever. You're like, not everyone needs to run. Let there be one person that runs. It's probably a nitpicky thing. Whatever. And there's a part where, like, when they crash land, Finn and Poe crash land, and they're in the TIE fighter. I don't know if it's the TIE fighter or TIE destroyer. Can't remember. I think it's a TIE fighter. They escape in the TIE fighter and everything, and they crash land, and Poe is nowhere to be found, and he shows up again, like, literally like 3/4 through the movie, and you're just like, how the frick are you alive? Where did you come from? How did you get off the planet? What the heck? And it was just kind of like, it was conveniently for him to show up. And at the time, I assumed he was dead. It would have been fine if he was. I've literally, and one of my friends has a gripe about this too. It's just like, he could have been stayed dead, and it wouldn't have changed anything. It wouldn't have changed anything in the movie. I kind of feel that way. I kind of feel like I was like, okay, he could have just been dead. It was like he served his purpose in the movie, felt like, and they just brought him back. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, that's what you want to do. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but whatever. And this is before I started talking to my friend William. Now, William is going to be in Rogue One. He's going to be in the next video that we do for this, for Star Week. This is going to be the 8th installment. And we're going to probably go real in depth with this movie because it's Star Wars, man. So we're probably going to go real in depth. So expect probably a long video for that. But I talked to him. He hates The Force Awakens. Like, hates The Force Awakens. And it surprised me. But that was one of the gripes that he had. It was just like, he just shows back up, and he's just like, why is he here? He doesn't need to be here anymore. It's just like, and I kind of got that. And I understood that. But other than that, man, there's some cool stuff. Like, you have Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, in my opinion, is one of the best parts of this movie. Kylo Ren is probably the most badass villain that we have seen in a very long time. That doesn't mean that he's scary. A lot of people, I do remember this criticism. A lot of people said that once he took off his mask, he ceased to be scary. And I'm like, he was never scary. He was badass, but he was never scary. It's like when he had the mask on, it's just like, oh, he's trying to be scary and stuff. And it's like, he's really forcing this out of him. He's trying to be this badass. He's trying to be, but he's not, like, I mean, I wouldn't mess with him, but I'm just saying, but either way, I wouldn't mess with him, but I felt like it was the on purpose, that his character wasn't as scary, but he was definitely badass. I mean, the dude stopped a laser blast in the air and force froze the pilot Poe, the same one that showed up later on. Force froze him. Like, dude, he just like boom, at the same time. I'm like, that has never been seen and never been done, never even hinted at in these movies. And that was, whoops, that was just plain and simple awesome. I almost pulled my mic out here. That would have been bad. But that was awesome. That was awesome. Like the escape scene with the Millennium Falcon is so good. It's so good the way it happened. I mean, like when she literally flips the Millennium Falcon so Finn can get a good can target the TIE fighter that's after. I'm like, that was just badass beyond reason. That was so cool. So for a while, like I like I said, realized early on that they were drawing parallels and stuff like that. And I'm like, I kind of got that early on, and I was kind of okay with it for the most part. And like I gave you that rundown in the beginning as jokingly, but honestly, that's and like okay, they draw a lot of parallels. There's a lot of fan service. There's a lot of callbacks to the original. A New Hope and A New Hope, and even some callbacks to Empire Strikes Back. I don't know why I had trouble remembering that. It's my favorite. That's my favorite installment, but that for me is what hurt it the most. All the fan service and all the callbacks and everything, to the point where it seemed like a copy to me. And I'm not saying that it's a copy, but it felt a lot like a copy. When the movie is trying to be its own thing and do new things and do, be, what's the word? Innovative. It's good. And I'm fully invested in it. But it just started to get too repetitive. And I think around the time when, around the time when they are at the Resistance base and they are going through the plans and trying to figure out a way to blow up Starkiller Base, that's when I checked out. That is the moment then is when I checked out, because I knew everything that was coming up. I knew everything that was going to come up because I'd obviously seen it already. And then like even Jojo, he was sitting right next to me. He leaned over and said like, this is a little bit, even I have to admit, this is a little bit too familiar. And I'm like, it really was. And like I said, for moments, it was just like, they even went to this cantina type place. And I'm like, are we really going to like just revisit everything in slightly different orders now? I'm like, it really started to irk me throughout the movie. And then when they started going over the plans to destroy Starkiller, I was just like, whatever. Whatever. And that's not good, because the whole, you get to that last battle between, first it was Finn and Kylo, and then it was Rey and Kylo. And man, I have to admit, that is one of the best, if not the best, lightsaber battle. And this is like, again, like I go through this, I address these as I do like the originals and stuff. These are all products of its time. You had intense action sequences and stuff back then in like the 70s and early 80s when it came out, but it was all very standard. It was all very like, every move was defined and everything. It was almost like you're on stage almost. It was, it was kind of like that type of performance. In the 2000s, I mean, we got the Matrix and stuff out. Everything was flashy. Everything was choreographed to a T, and everything was like that. So, product of its time. Now fight scenes are more gritty, they're darker, they're rougher and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, this is a product of its time. I mean, like, you got Kylo burning freaking, I mean, he's just like literally torturing Finn. He's burning him with the lightsaber and stuff. I'm like, that's product of its time. That's the product of today's time. The things are darker, grittier, and rougher, and more violent. And we allow for more violence, especially for PG-13 and stuff. So, yeah, we allow for more violence and stuff to happen. So, yeah, and That lightsaber battle was awesome. There was people that told me when Rey forced over the lightsaber to her, because initially Kylo was trying to do it, and then Rey kind of steals it. It just flies past him, and it lands it, and Rey grabs it. People said they got chills from that scene. I understand now, upon a second viewing, how awesome that was. When I first saw it, I didn't care anymore. Because like I said, I checked out by the time they were going over these plans, and it was just kind of like, I don't really care. I'm just kind of really waiting for this to be over now. And even the death of Han Solo. The death of Han Solo, to me, should have been so impactful, but it was so telegraphed. It was, at least to me anyway, it was telegraphed. The only thing that really sold it was Chewie's reaction. Chewie's reaction to it was just like, oh, okay, I felt a little something there when he reacted. But, he's going out, and, he and Kylo are going out on this thing to me because Kylo is technically, is Han Solo's son, the son of Han and Leia. And, he goes out on this bridge to try to bring him back, try to talk to him, and I'm just like, you're going to die. They're like, everything, it was just setting up. They go out into this big open space, and I'm like, yep, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. It's telegraphed a lot. I mean, to me it was. It's telegraphed a lot. It's like, to me, it was like somebody just rearing back, was just like, all right, I'm gonna punch you now. You ready? Here it come. And I'm like, so it just didn't have the emotional effect that it probably should have for me. Now, like I said, these are my issues with the movie. This is why I couldn't really get on board with it. I understand that all sequels and all franchises have a formula. Marvel, anyone, Marvel movies, anyone, but any other one. Indiana Jones, very formulaic. Each one, you could argue, is basically the same movie. Terminator, as much as we love Terminator 2, it's basically the same premise, what else we have? And Star Wars, the only one that really broke the mold was Empire Strikes Back. That one kind of broke the mold a little bit. Same, I probably argue with Revenge of the Sith. It kind of broke the mold a little bit, just start to change things a little bit. Doctor Strange and, in the Marvel movies, kind of broke the mold a little bit. Just it had that formula, but kind of like did things that were different that could really just kind of like renew your. And I don't mind the formulas. I don't mind that. I like the Indiana Jones movie minus the fourth. I like the first three. I like that they're all like kind of formulaic. Yeah, you could argue they're basically the same premise. Yes, kind of. But I don't mind that. My thing was like, when you delve too much into the formula, it was also like, it was formula plus fan service plus callback. All of that just kind of was like, I feel like it hurt the movie for me that it couldn't be its own thing. Like I said, when this movie was trying to do things new and was trying to do things that were innovative and bring new freshness to it and stuff like that, I was all for it. I'm all for Rey's character, and the fact that, a lot of people didn't like her because they felt like she was too perfect, like she could do things that she probably shouldn't be able to do. I kind of look at her like a Gohan character. Those who watch Dragon Ball Z, I kind of look at Rey like a Gohan character. Like, she has this power within her, and she's trying to figure. She can't really control it as much, but she knows it's there and can bring it forth when she really, really needs to, and when it's really dire, she can really bring it forth. So, like, the Force is strong with. When they say the Force is strong with somebody, I feel like the Force is extremely strong with her, and I'm interested to see just how powerful she really is. The only thing is, you got that whole superhero thing that. You don't want to make her too much of a superhero that way she can't be hurt. But yeah, it just, like I said, when it was just too much. There's levels of the formula, and it was too much. Now, as I said, this is a good movie. by all means, it is a good movie. If you is this as a standalone movie, this thing is solid. As like I said, the filming of this movie is beautiful. The action set pieces are great. The characters are good. It was just, to me, it was just too much of a, I hate to say rehash, but it really it was too much. You borrowed from the formula a little bit too much. You used it too exactly to where it was just like, I wasn't surprised by anything I was seeing, and it just kind of took away, because a movie, in my opinion, should have some form of suspense to it. Even those that you know what's going to happen. And I'm going to talk about this in Rogue One, but Rogue One, I knew what was going to happen towards the end, but I was still, like suspense filled and stuff like that. I was like, oh, there's still, you still kind of have that, that edge of your seat feel and stuff. I felt that with Rogue One. I didn't feel that after a while with this movie. Like for like I said, when they were doing the escape and stuff, I was like, oh snap, this is really cool. But when it started to be a little bit too much, it was just kind of like, oh gosh. And maybe it was because of the fact that I had literally just watched A New Hope before watching that movie in the theater. Maybe that did it for me, because I was just like, I feel like I just watched this. And I'm like, okay, this princess is going to happen. This is going to die. They're going to shoot the Starkiller Base. Also, what the heck, Starkiller Base? What the heck? Did you literally just copy the plans from the Death Star and make it bigger? Did you literally do that and give it the same weakness? And I'm like, what were you doing? And it's gonna be bad, especially after I go into Rogue One. That's what it's gonna seem like, really bad. But also, I didn't talk about this, and this is a nitpicky one. This can kind of go either way. It could bother some people. Maybe didn't bother me as much, but I understand why it bothered some people. It's just like these planets that got blown up. It's like, yes, there's people on them, and it's tragic and everything like that. But when Leia's planet blew up, it was an emotional investment. It was just like, oh no, like that's her family, that's her home, It's just like, oh, she just lost everything. And I'm like, how was she not a mess after that and everything? I never quite thought about that. I was like, man, how was she not a mess after that? But when these planes blew up, it was like, whoa, it was like, whoa, that's a lot of power. But some people were just like, the investment wasn't there because, like, okay, these are a bunch of people I don't really care about. And so it can go either way. It didn't bother me that much. I understand that it bothers some people. Now, I guess to sum this up, if you like this movie, I completely understand. It's a good movie. It's entertaining. It has, like I said, it's beautifully filmed. It has some issues, and if you don't care that it's a rehash, if you know it's a rehash and you don't care, for some people this might be just a nice update for them. Like some franchises do that, and it's kind of like it's an update. It's a nice update for them, and I think that's why a lot of people like. I know it's kind of off topic, but like why they liked Ant-Man. Ant-Man was was pretty much Iron Man in a sense, but it was a nice update for them. It was a little bit funnier, it popped a little more and stuff like that, and that's fine. If you enjoy that, then hey, enjoy the heck out of it, right? And if you didn't like this movie, I understand why. I understand everything that William tells me about why he doesn't like this movie, and it's his name. I don't think I mentioned his name earlier, but yeah, my friend who we're doing Rogue One together, probably soon and stuff like that. So, everything that he tells me, every gripe he has with this movie, I can understand. I completely 100% get. And it's okay. I'm just telling you that it's okay to either love this movie or hate this movie. You do either one or just be indifferent. I'm kind of borderline thinking it's okay and indifferent about it. Like, it's probably a good start to it. But if it starts going to where like episode 8 is now a rehash of Empire Strikes Back, then I'm just going to be flat out pissed. But now I'm just I'm kind of indifferent to kind of liking it a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to like in this movie. Definitely. There's a lot of stuff to like. It was just a little bit, I've explained it, just, and like I said, if you like it, like it. No reason for you. If you like the prequels, like the prequels. There's people and especially for the younger generation and stuff, they like the prequels much better than they like the older ones. Now, when they get older, they'll probably be like me, and they'll realize okay, the prequels aren't really great movies. They aren't really good movies, but that's fine if you still like them. I mean, for me, it's Mortal Kombat. You couldn't tell me nothing about Mortal Kombat when I was a kid, man. You couldn't tell me nothing about that movie. I was like, that movie was awesome. It wasn't until I saw Mortal Kombat Annihilation when I was much older, because I didn't see that for a long time. I actually forgotten it came out, and I just didn't see it for a while. Then Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I watched it, I was just like, this is really bad. It's entertainingly bad, but really bad. And then I went back and watched the original Mortal Kombat, and I was just like, wow, this is really dumb. This is really dumb. I still enjoy it. And I know it's dumb, but I still enjoy it. It's still a part of me, So, for us older folk, us old people, well, at least the adults and stuff, we have the traditional trilogy. We have A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. We have those. So when we go back and we see the prequels, they don't do it for us, obviously. But some people, they have, we have the new generation is, coming up now. They have the prequels. This is their introduction to it. They have the prequels. So when they watch these are their movies, and whether like them or hate them, most people, from what I've understood, from what I've come across, most of the younger generation likes the prequels. Not so much the second one, but, they like the prequels more than they like the original trilogy. The original trilogy is slower to them. And it all comes with, I don't know. It's just differences. It's just differences. But, it's good. It's what makes us human, right? So, yeah, that's all I really got to say. I'm kind of rambling on now. I'm not even talking about Star Wars anymore. Like I said, this is a good movie. I'm not going to lie. This is a good movie. If you were to... there's also something I wanted to address as well. Obviously, I read the plot line down to you, but not in a joking manner. But it does not follow the canon of the newer series. But my friend Jojo was kind of upset about that until he saw the movie. He enjoyed the movie, but he was kind of upset that they weren't following the canon anymore. So they've kind of gone off and kind of doing their own thing, and they're just trying to I understand they were trying to reintroduce this to the crowd and stuff like that, but it just didn't. I don't know. I felt like it was. I gave you my thoughts, all right. I gave you my thoughts. Like I said, I'm just rambling beyond past this point. Anyway, what did you guys think of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Episode 7? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you indifferent? Whatever you think, put it in the comments below. Let me know. Don't forget to follow my friend JJ's blog at 4comicjunkies.blogspot.com. Follow him on Twitter at 4comicjunkies. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. McBlam. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I will see you in the next video.